Thanks to this belly up media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.
The following announcement has been paid for, but it's for Addicts podcast.
There it is. Finally, we have our own unique, one-of-a-kind opening. Thanks to the Rook over at Scoreboard Addicts podcast. My name is Matt. Shout out to the Rook for sure. Mm-hmm. My name is Matt. This is Sal. We are the Rasslin Addicts, and tonight we have a very special episode that we're going to give to you. Seeing how there's a lot going on today, we are going to focus mainly on AEW Double or Nothing, which is this Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday. By the way, for everyone out there, I will be doing live coverage of AEW Double or Nothing with Wrestling Inc. So go follow them and check them out, and I'll check out all my coverage on Sunday. It's a stacked card. It should be a lot of fun.
You know what, Sal? You're right. It's funny because I was looking. First of all, when it comes to AEW, it's so funny. The name of the pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, I actually know nothing. And I shouldn't be saying that. It's bad that I'm saying that.
All right.
You know, we're doing a wrestling podcast, and I'm talking about one of the biggest events of the year and how I don't really know much about it. I can make, bullshit excuses of how busy I've been. But I just looked at the card, so I has somewhat of an idea of what I'm talking about tonight.
Right.
And holy shit, this thing is stacked.
Yeah, it's a good card. I mean, you look up and down, and there's not a lot of weak spots. There really isn't. All of these matches really could be at the top of the card on any given Dynamite or anything, so it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited.
It's 2022. I had the hot box when I was younger for the WWF and the WCW pay-per-views. I'm just trying to think back to a time when I've actually paid for a pay-per-view, and I don't count the network because for $9.99 you got so much more than just a monthly pay-per-view, which is now a premium live event in WWE.
Yeah, don't say pay-per-view anymore.
Hey, God damn it, pal! But
pal, it's not acceptable, pal.
Yeah. Shut up. No, but I haven't paid for a pay-per-view in forever, and I think after the in-laws leave for their Memorial Day barbecue that we're having, I think I might have to order this.
Oh, do it. Yeah, you got to do it.
I'm going to see if I could, wrangle up a couple of stray cats, see if anyone wants to come and watch it, because it's always better watching it with someone, these big events like this.
I disagree. I need to be alone and no one bother me. I want to watch it, and I don't want to have anybody else with their 2 cents coming. I love just watching it, and now obviously doing live coverage, I'm working at the same time as watching it, so I'm multitasking.
How is it doing the live coverage and watching it? What do you find yourself doing more? Do you find yourself like working, enjoying it, or being like, oh shit, I gotta tweet this out?
Yeah, in the first week, I kind of like just stared at my screen, my computer screen, like tweeting and stuff like that. But now, I go back and forth. You get the hang of it. You really do.
Yeah.
I know exactly what to send out there. I know what's going to get engagements and what's not. So it gets easier once you do it more.
That's cool. That's good. Because I know you did Raw on Monday, and
Mm-hmm.
that's probably the last thing I was able to watch for this week, and it wasn't even a lot. I passed out. I didn't even
Yeah.
finish. I try to do it, and I just don't. It's like I forget sometimes, which is weird. Because maybe because it's this is more of a hobby, you could say, for me. I mean, if it leads to something else, great. But for you, you're like in there, which is
Yeah,
great. So you
I'm in
get
the
to,
trenches.
yeah, you're down, you're in the trenches, you're getting your hands dirty, and
It's fun. It's fun
it's
seeing everyone's opinions and tweets come in, and some people disagree what I say, some people agree with what I say. So and at the end of the day, it's just wrestling.
yeah, it's tell that to Ringside News. End of the
I don't even
day,
want. I'm
it
not
is
even
just
going
wrestling.
there. Oh,
No, me neither. And it's moving on.
yes.
AEW Double or Nothing this Sunday. I think the whole card is set, other than the women's Owen Hart Cup finals, right? I think the
Uh,
finals. I think there's one
I
more match.
Yeah, no, there's
It's
one more match. Rampage. Yeah, Rampage. I It's Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander, and I would think that Ruby Soho wins
yeah.
on Friday on
Okay,
Rampage.
I could see that. And then the winner of that faces
And
DMD.
it would be Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker would be fantastic. Fantastic final. I would have Ruby Soho win it all. Britt Baker does not need that win. Ruby Soho does.
I love Britt Baker.
No, I love her too.
She's awesome. She's
She's
great
great.
on Twitter,
Oh,
and it's I feel like a lot of people thought Tony Storm was going to win the whole
yeah.
tournament.
I saw a lot of that during doing coverage. A lot of people were like, "What the heck? Tony lost," but I expected it. They're not gonna have Tony beat Britt Baker. I didn't see that happening.
I agree, because last time Britt Baker lost was probably to Thunder Rosa, right? For the
Yeah,
belt.
I think so. Yeah, and that was months ago.
So with what Britt has done in the women's division over in AEW, while everyone may not, see that the women's division is a success in AEW, but what Britt has done, I agree with what you're saying. When she loses, it shouldn't be in a semifinals match to Tony Storm. She should
Right.
lose in the finals, and I think it would be a nice break for Ruby, because
Oh yeah.
when she first was released from WWE, they were like, such a waste of talent. We didn't get a
Yeah.
chance to see like the real version of her, like what she
Mhm.
can do. And
Yeah,
then
it was
she had those clips she was putting out,
Mhm.
hyping up her new identity. I don't want to say gimmick, because this is who she is.
Right.
It's not the 80s anymore, but
From what I hear, she's very well liked backstage. I don't hear a one bad thing about her.
and I think now it's time to, give her the push, give her the
Yes.
nod, get a fresh face in there. And, you know, I think Ruby is that face. And then hopefully this could lead to some sort of, main event spot, maybe
I
her
hope
from the
so.
Rosa, a future title match. But
I'd like to see it. Well, since we're talking about the women's division in AEW, I guess we can go right into the AEW Women's World Championship match on Sunday. It's going to be Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. This to me, it's a stacked card, but this is that 1 week spot where they're probably going to be given a bad spot on the card, and I see crickets from the crowd. And I hope not, because I like both of them, but This storyline hasn't really been it for me. It just, I don't think it's been it for anybody. No one really is enjoying this. So
And that's what I'm hearing. The
this might
same
be a
thing
weak
too.
part.
That's what the major popular opinion seems to be online, that no one. It's like Thunder Rosa's champion. It's almost like an
Yeah.
Adam Page feel. I'm like, oh, really? They're the world champs, but Serena, maybe they switch it up and it's an SES type of night. Maybe the Straight Edge Society wins their
They
world
make her come
titles.
back.
Yeah.
She shouldn't shave her head again. Just don't
No,
shave your head.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Win the belts, and
No.
I feel like I agree with what you're saying. Looking at the card,
Yeah.
and everything, that does seem like the one.
Unfortunately.
And listen, it's not a knock on them. It's just how their card. This is WrestleMania type card. May even be better than WrestleMania. I mean, on paper it looks it. So there's always that one lesser match that's not as.
Yeah, it might be this one. The other women's championship, the TBS championship, is Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay, and that I don't see that lasting long. I see Jade Cargill's a star. She ain't losing. She is not losing that title. So I don't see that lasting long. I see it just kind of elevating Jade Cargill a little more.
Yeah.
So
it'll be like I think it's going to be like a squash in a way, to where Jade's doing her thing, and then
maybe.
Because I mean, like you're saying, with the time, there's so much happening.
Yeah.
And as we get deeper into the card, certain matches are going to need more time. What is it? Do they do 3 or 4 hours?
I think it's 3. It might go a little past 3 hours, I think. Because they got a lot of matches here. And then they have the buy-in, too. I think that'll be on YouTube.
Yeah. We should. I want to take down some predictions that we could tweet out and see how we do. Matt, Sal. All right, so you're going with Ruby for the Owen Hart finals?
I think so. I mean, unless Statlander beats her on Rampage this Friday, but I don't see that happening. So I'll go with Soho.
Yeah, we'll take the Thursday early prediction. I'm gonna go with Ruby also. I just don't see it doesn't do anything for Britt, for Baker.
And then for the AEW women's one, I'll go with Thunder Rosa. I don't see Serena Deeb winning. I just don't.
I don't either. Think it'll be a good match, be nice. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Oh, Jade, absolutely. Listen,
that's a slam dunk.
I don't remember the chiropractor's name, but
Mark Sterling.
He's like Jack.
Oh no.
No, I'm sorry. No, this is like I watch chiropractor videos on YouTube. It's like my.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yep.
My guilty pleasure. He I think Ryback went to him. I shouldn't mention his name, but I know a bunch of other guys, wrestlers went to him, and
I think Mark Henry went to him.
I think so. Yeah, and he interviews them while they're doing it, and Jade was there, and I like interviews like that because I got to know her a little more, even without me really knowing about AEW. It's I just like wrestling, so when I had the chance to watch one of my favorites mesh with another, I'm like, this is cool. I'm like wrestling. I'm like, let me check this out, and I liked it. It was good. I like she's a star. She's an absolute star.
Yeah,
she's got a mix of. She's got a mix of Charlotte and Sasha Banks, I feel. So where Charlotte commands the room and she has that charismatic, I'm the boss ass bitch, like Sasha.
She's still a little green in the ring, needs a little work,
Oh, yeah. I don't mean like ring work. I don't mean like Charlotte ring work reminds me of her. Just like her presence. Like she's tall, she's
definitely.
fit, athletic, and
Hmm.
she could definitely move in the ring. And she's held that TBS championship for
She
how
ain't
long now?
a long
That ain't
time.
going nowhere.
That's not going anywhere. Um. All right. Well, that's the women's division. Let's move on to some tag teams. We got the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, and
I'm a
I
Hardy
didn't
fan.
notice. I didn't notice you had it. All right, you got his Young Bucks shirt on.
So, quick story. Obviously, my first name's Matt. My buddy Nick, we were in a fantasy baseball league together separately at
Hmm.
one point. We both left it. A few years later, we reunited. We're like, let's join it, but we'll team up. His
Right.
name, and we were the youngest ones in the league. His
Hmm.
name is Nick. My name is Matt. I
There you
saw these
go.
shirts in Hot Topic. I'm like, too easy. So,
That
and I had to wear it for the AEW show. I had to be that mark and mark out. So, shout out to Nick Potato, who was one half of the LPL Young Bucks. But the Young Bucks versus the Hardys is almost like a time machine that we're seeing. It's like the past versus the future. And I think it's going to be, I mean, we've seen it before. So it's not like it's not the first time that we've seen it.
yeah.
But now that it's in AEW and there's just so much like hype around it this time, I feel like, it's just going to be, we're not going to get the Hardys of old.
Well, I was gonna say that the Hardys are. I don't know. I love the Hardys. They're one of my favorite tag teams ever. But seeing them wrestle now, it's sort of like just sad because
Yeah.
they can't. They don't move the same. They can't. I mean, Jeff Swanton. I mean, he's literally landing on them now. Like
Yeah.
he's not doing the Swanton the right way because he can't do it anymore. So, will this be a match? Will this be a 5-star match like it would have been 5 years ago? Probably not, but I think it'll be a good match. I just don't know. The Hardys are kind of
I don't
limited.
think I don't think Matt Hardy, I don't think his knees bend. Like I don't think I've ever seen him bend his
Yeah.
knees in like the past 5 years. Like when he walks, when he does the leg drop, it's just like a stiff leg hitting down. So
Everything's catching up to them, unfortunately. I
I mean,
think.
they did, 4 TLC matches, a
Oh, they've
ton,
done so many. It's
a ton of ladder matches. I mean, they definitely entertained us for so many
oh yeah,
years. So I mean, listen, on paper, reading it right now, great match. But
yeah.
like you said, it's not the Hardys of old, so it's
And the
definitely going to be
Young Bucks
something.
they've kind of lost their spark a bit. Like they're kind of it's not the same. I don't know, like there's something missing. There's like the hype is not around them anymore and I don't know why. It's
Do you?
just not the same.
I feel like it's that way for a few of the people in AEW now, a few of the wrestlers in
Yeah.
AEW, to where that aura and that mystique is gone. I know it's what, this is the 3
3-year
3-year
anniversary
anniversary.
of AEW. Yep.
So it's like,
I
plus
feel like
AEW.
the Young Bucks had a spark because they were on the Indies and they were in Ring of Honor, and you really couldn't see them that much. But now that we're seeing
Yep.
them a lot, people are kind of just like, it's commonplace now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there they are again.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, they're beating down this guy again.
yeah,
It's almost like when the NWO started adding everybody into it.
yeah.
It lost like the coolness and like, oh wow, yeah. Now
It
it's like,
lost the mystique of it,
oh,
unfortunately. But speaking of tag teams, we have the AEW Tag Team Championship match.
well, who's your pick? Who do you got? You got the
Oh yeah,
Bucks or you got the Hardys?
that's a tough one. I'll go with the Bucks.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too because it goes back to the Britt Baker. Like, she doesn't need to
Right.
win. Like, listen, if this
Yeah.
was a Dynamite or a Rampage, a regular weekly show, I'm like, all right, yeah, the Hardys, why not? Give the crowd something cool.
Right.
But like you're saying, the Bucks lost something. That spark isn't there.
Nope.
Maybe a win over the Hardys can push them in the right direction to get him back.
We'll
Get him
see.
back to that spot.
I hope they have a good match. I hope the Hardys pull out, something from the past, and maybe they're moving a little better. Pull out some old moves, but just from what I've seen since they reunited in AEW, it's not the Hardy Boys of the past where they were, where it was WrestleMania 17 and TLC.
Oof.
And
Yeah.
I gotta go watch that match tonight now that I mentioned
Yeah, right.
it.
That's my favorite WrestleMania is WrestleMania 17 of all time.
I think it's a lot of people's favorite WrestleMania. Honestly, that one is definitely probably in my top 5. It might be number 1 for me, honestly.
Yeah. And speaking of the Hardy Boys, just want to talk about our sponsor real quick, which is Canadips. Canadips, which is a CBD. It's the OG CBD dip pouch. And if you really want to save, go to the website. It's canadipscbd.com. Use code BELLYUP20. Save 20% on your order. This is a nice, tasty, innovative, unique, any other special word you want to say. This is not your original CBD. This is the OG when it comes to being new, being fresh, and it's a non-addictive, non-tobacco dip. And check out the website. I'm rambling about it because it's so good and I can't even figure out the right words to say. But go check it out. We'll also tweet it out too on the Twitter handle. And, if you like it, let us know. And eventually, little spoiler, this is for everybody, including Sal. I'm thinking maybe we order some and we do our version of Rasslin trivia. We do it the right way to where no one's holding me back. I'm talking to you, Nick, son of a bitch. I'm going to find out who this higher power is, and then it's going to be a wrap. Stop screwing me out of my championships. Anyway,
they got a higher power. We don't know.
I'm going to find out. But what I want to do is I want to get a bunch of the CBD dips, and I want to have our own trivia. And we invite some guests, some guys from Belly Up. We can have some of our Twitter followers, join in too. And the winner will receive a free flavor of their choice CBD dip. So stay tuned for that. That's in the pipeline because I literally just thought of it now. And and we'll take it from there.
All right. Well, moving on. We got the AEW Tag Team Championship match. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Team Taz, which will be Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, and then Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I can't wait for this match. It's going to be great. The only thing about this match is
this might open the show.
I hope so. But, sometimes it becomes a spot fest, instead of a regular tag team match. Which I get that, you need your spot fest match. So I'll be all right if this is the spot fest match. I'll be fine with it. But I can't wait till Jungle Boy is just on his own. I've been saying this since day one I saw him. I was like, why is he in this tag team with this dinosaur? Like, just make him a single. He could dominate.
I agree. I mean, I feel like maybe once Ring of Honor becomes a thing, then I feel like you'll see a lot of more chances being taken on people like Jungle Boy and stuff like that because he's over. People love him. People like him.
He was one of the first people, and watching the first episodes of AEW, I was like, wow, they need to do something with him because he is going to be a star.
And Luke Perry's kid, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Luke Perry.
that's
Luke
right.
Perry's kid. And I could see it. I could see him being a solo act down the line for sure.
Mm-hmm. His promos are all right. I know they interviewed him about doing promos, and he said he like runs away from them. He doesn't like doing promos, which is fine. Not everybody is good at promos, but
yeah,
I think one day he'll be a good single star. But I wouldn't be surprised if this steals the show, especially if it starts off the show. And you always need for a pay-per-view, you always need a good first match, because if the first match sucks, then the rest of the pay-per-view is just gonna, it's gonna drag. So you need that first match to get things going.
I agree, 100%.
So hopefully this starts it. I don't know, what Tony Khan is gonna have to start the show, but this would definitely be one. I don't see Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus retaining. I think they've had the belts for a little too long now.
I agree. I mean, I'm not even watching as consistently as I should. I agree. I think it's time for someone fresh. They did have them for a really long time, and who would you say should win this match?
Keith Lee and Swerve. They just came in. Keith Lee for a few weeks wasn't even on TV. He would just do like a 10-second promo and backstage, and then you wouldn't see him for the next few weeks. So you have to do something with him. And I think this elevates both of them. They're both fantastic. Teams I don't really see Hobbs and Starks as a good tag team. Keith Lee and Swerve are pretty good as a team. So I would go with Keith Lee and Swerve.
I've always liked Keith Lee. And by always, I mean from NXT. I know he was obviously doing this before then, but I mean, for me, I was never that indie type of guy, So
no, neither was I.
And I didn't give AEW the chance at first. I was like, I barely have time for WWE. And, I don't even really watch the new stuff. I watch the old stuff. So it's almost like, I could use this as an opportunity, being that I know a few guys from NXT that are in AEW, to get into it. And Keith Lee and Swerve, because I was also a fan of Hit Row.
Me too. I
don't know.
When they got rid of them.
I'm going to go with Lee and Swerve as well. I want to see them succeed, and not because, they were former WWE guys, just because they're talented. Mm-hmm. And I just want to see something different.
Well, I think, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, the tag team championship reign hasn't been great. I mean, you could say that about a lot of champions right now in AEW, but yeah, I think there definitely needs to be a change there with the tag team division. Getting off of tag teams, we have the men's Owen Hart Cup final, which is going to be Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe.
Adam Cole, baby.
I can't. This is going to be. I was surprised it was Samoa Joe. I thought it would be Kyle O'Reilly because Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are in the Undisputed lead and all that. But this should be a really good match. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and shame on me, and I'll let all the Twitter followers out there bury the shit out of me as well. But this is the first time I'm looking at the card, and I was scrolling through and seeing Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe was like top 2 reasons to order this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
2 guys I'm humongous fans of, and I think it's going to be a great match. They have history, from NXT, and AEW does not mind bringing that up, that they have history.
Right.
It's not like someone just wrestled here or there for 6 years and don't mention where.
Yeah. Oh,
I
God.
like that that they acknowledge him, and I think this could be a good match. I am huge into Adam Cole. Oh, I'm going with Adam Cole. Oh yeah,
I,
AC baby.
Adam Cole to me, since he got, and I hate saying this because I love Adam Cole, but Adam Cole to me, since he got to AEW, has felt like just another guy. Like ever since he got put in the Undisputed Elite, he doesn't feel like the leader. Like you can always feel like Kenny Omega's back there somewhere, and you know Kenny Omega's the leader of the Elite and all that. So I don't know. I haven't loved Adam Cole's run in AEW. I wouldn't be surprised if he won this. Honestly, he probably needs to win this, but part of me could see Joe winning too. But I'll go with Adam Cole. I see him pulling off the victory just because he needs this win. I think he needs it.
I think you're right, which is crazy to say that, any one of these guys may need the win. But I mean, Adam Cole, he lost to Darby Allin. Lost how many times to
He lost
Adam
to
Page for the
He
title?
lost to Orange Cassidy.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Darby Allin. Oh my god.
No, I think you were right on that though.
But okay, so then if it was Darby Allin, then
he lost to Darby, but then he lost to Orange Cassidy, which was ridiculous.
I think you know what? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Orange Cassidy match. Losing to Darby Allin isn't that bad because
that's fine.
They're both the same
fine.
body type, which I think, not to sound like Jim Cornette or any of these other like older wrestling personality guys, but like Adam Cole needs to hit the gym, and that's coming from me. I'm not a gym guy. I mean, if he had a more of like a 2003 Randy Orton type of physique, not humongous, but like we look like a little intimidating.
Yeah,
like that jacket that he wears to the ring is humongous on him.
yeah.
Sometimes, and I like Cole. I just don't
do too.
think that his presentation helps him.
Hasn't been great.
It hasn't, and I feel like you're right. Adam Cole is just another guy in AEW right now.
That's how I feel. Maybe if he wins, it'll change some things, but I don't know. I'm down on Adam Cole right now, unfortunately, and Adam Cole was my favorite person in NXT, the old NXT.
Loved him.
He was my favorite person, and once
he
went
ran
to
shit.
Yeah, he did. And once he went to AEW, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. This should be fun, and it hasn't been. So hopefully things turn around for him.
I hope so.
I hope so. You're Cole too, Adam. We're both Adam Cole on that one.
Yeah, I'm going with Adam Cole. I mean, Joe is still the champion. Joe still has the. I mean, I guess title doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cole, Adam Cole, baby. Probably with outside interference from.
I could see it
from the UE still. That's my guess. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Adam Cole with outside interference.
All right. Well, the next one we got here, we mentioned it a little earlier, but MJF versus Wardlow. I love both these guys. It's so hard to pick between these two because no matter who wins in this, it'll elevate both of them. I mean, MJF, I don't know how much it could. Honestly, it probably elevate Wardlow a little more than MJF, but I gotta go with Wardlow because if he wins, the place is literally gonna go insane. He is super over right now.
I It has to be Wardlow. I mean,
Yeah.
he needs this win. If
Yeah.
he doesn't, then everything that I've watched, 'cause I've been paying attention to. It would have been for nothing. It would have been worthless. To be like, what were you doing this whole entire time that you're making him lose when this is everything that he's been fighting for?
Right.
You
The only
know,
thing I
and
could
it's
think of is a screwy finish, and MJF wins and screws him over. That's the only other thing I could think of.
you know what you do. This is AEW Double or Nothing. Wardlow wins. He's celebrating. MJF is still in the ring. MJF is going to need another muscle. Someone debuts, takes out Wardlow because I think he still needs to have some sort of story with
Right.
MJF
hmm
because the TNT title is being hot potato between three different people.
Yep.
There's nothing bigger for him to do because after everything, it should be the chase for a title. So
Mm.
I mean, in my
Right.
opinion, because this is almost like Batista in a way when
Mm.
Batista was in Evolution and he was breaking away. You felt the tension there, the looks, him
Yeah.
and Batista and Triple H, not always seeing eye to eye. I see Wardlow winning and then MJF getting someone whose contract or their non-compete is up for them to debut and align themselves with MJF to then further feud with Wardlow.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see a lot of things, but I could see number one thing I'd see is Wardlow winning. He's
I
on
don't see him
Goldberg level
losing.
right now. When Goldberg was going to stardom in WCW and he was getting to that peak, Wardlow's getting there.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Goldberg a lot.
Listen, as long as no one's dressed as a security guard, tasering Wardlow in the
Oh
chest.
God, I love Scott Hall, R.I.P. But that was some bad booking. that was bad creative.
Yeah, that really was. I mean,
He's
that's another podcast in
that's a
itself.
whole other podcast we could have on that one. The next one we got is going to be, it's called Anarchy in the Arena, which is basically another fancy term for we're just going to fight everywhere. So basically a false count
Like it.
anywhere match. Jericho Appreciation Society versus Moxley, Danielson, Eddie Kingston, and Santana and Ortiz. I haven't been crazy about this storyline. Some of the promos back and forth have been good. Some of the brawls have been okay. But this whole Jericho thing, I'm not crazy about it. It's not terrible, but I'm just, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. What do you think?
I feel like they're trying to put people with Jericho
Yep.
to help them get recognized or get over. It doesn't matter who it
Right.
is. Doesn't matter if they fit or not. That's what it seemed because at least the BCC, Regal's the focal point, and Regal's not
Right.
there to, and I miss Regal, by the way, but Regal is not there for the rub or anything. So it's more like,
Well, I don't know if Regal's wrestling. That's the other thing. I don't know if he's going to be in the match. That hasn't really been said, and I don't see him wrestling. He hasn't wrestled in 10 years, so it might just be Danielson, Moxley, Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. That was that 5 people. Yeah, and then you have with Jericho's group. You have Jericho 2.0. Who am I missing? Jake Hager. Oh, and Daniel Garcia. So you have 5 people there.
Okay.
So Regal would kind of be like the guy on the outside, and honestly, I could see him getting involved because this match is probably going to be all throughout the arena. It sounds like it'll be a little false count anywhere action, but I don't know if it's an actual false count anywhere match. No, nothing is being said of the rules of this anarchy in the arena. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go with the Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Kingston, and Santana Ortiz for this one. I don't
same.
see Jericho's group winning. I hope his group doesn't win because if it does, then that means the storyline's continuing. I don't really want to see the storyline continue.
They're sports entertainers.
Yeah,
Sports entertainers.
Uh-huh.
I love that though. I mean, that's what Jericho's really good at. He's really good at like shit like that, like
yeah. He knows how to get on people's nerves.
yes, exactly. He knows how to get a rise out of people. He knows exactly what buttons to push. Always had, and he always will. And that's not a knock.
No, I love Jericho.
He's not in my top 5 yet.
No,
I mean, my top
he's not,
4,
no.
my top 4 is solid. The fifth one is like there, but Jericho is definitely top 10. I mean, he's been around for so long. Everything he's done, top 15 maybe.
Right.
Top 20. He's top 20 because, the more I say numbers, you can't really do that in wrestling.
He probably top 15
Yeah, what were you saying?
for me. Top 15 for me, probably.
Yeah. I could, yeah. I mean, as you know from last night's, which would be Wednesday's Scoreboard Addicts podcast trivia question was, who was the first ever undisputed champion in WWE history? And that was Chris Jericho.
Y2J, he beat The Rock and Stone Cold in one night, and now look at him.
Yeah, right? He's been living off that ever since. So we're both in agreement on the BCC because we need Jericho to have a better gimmick.
Please. Either that or I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. It's all right. It's not terrible, but I'm not jumping for joy over it. And
but you want to know what we are crazy about? We're crazy about Canadips. Canadip CBD, the OG CBD dip pouch. And if you see the ticker at the bottom, go to CanadipCBD.com and use the code BELLYUP20 and you could save 20% on your next order. We will tweet out a link with the show and as well as throughout the night and throughout the week. And, take a look, see what you like, and ton of flavors. I believe peach is a favorite. They might have Skittles. So why don't you go over to Cannabis and taste the rainbow? Belly up 20.
Rainbow. All right. Before we get to the main event, I got another match here.
I think we have 2 more.
Do we have 2 more?
Which one were you about to say?
I was going to say House of Black versus Death Triangle.
Is Tony Nese and Mark Sterling?
Yes, that's on that will Hookhausen. Love Hookhausen.
Hookhausen's a great name.
And Tony Nese and Mark Sterling will be on the buy-in. So that will be I think on YouTube. I think it's going to be on YouTube or Twitter, I believe. And I actually I have to ask if I'm doing coverage on that because I don't know. So
I was just about to ask you that. And one more time. So I was just informed that this would be an audio podcast tomorrow. And we will be on Belly Up on Monday. So you could watch this on Monday for you can watch us on Monday to see how accurate we are with our
Yeah, see how we
predictions.
did.
But also, this would possibly be on YouTube before Sunday. So you have many places to watch us. And while this ticker is, let me see, can I do this? All right, cool. I moved it
There
real
we go.
quick. So now I just wanted to put up the Twitter handle to where you could find Sal not only on this Sunday for Double or Nothing, but you could find him Monday for Raw, Tuesday for NXT, Wednesday for Dynamite. Thursdays you're off because we do Thursdays, which is tonight.
Yes.
Friday for SmackDown and Rampage. And then on the occasional Sundays, you can catch him with covering the WWE PLEs, which are the premium live events, pal. And you can watch him. You can catch him with the AEW pay-per-views. Twitter handle is Rasslin Inc. That is WRESTLINGINC. And follow him, follow Wrestling, follow us, and just enjoy wrestling and help build that wrestling community in a positive way. We've been seeing a lot of negative things going around lately in the world in general, and I'm not going to bring it up or get into anything like that, but just let's all be positive and just enjoy one another. And if wrestling can do that, then let's do that.
Yeah, we got a lot of wrestling coming up too. So we got Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow, Rampage, and Double or Nothing on Sunday. So we got a lot going on.
Oh, it just hit me. Double or Nothing's on Sunday. Memorial Day is on Monday. No work.
There we go.
Style for WWE drones like me and others out there. How can we watch Double or Nothing if this is our first time ordering an AEW pay-per-view?
You go on Bleacher Report. It'll be on Bleacher Report, and I believe Fight TV.
Okay.
Fight TV has it. So Bleacher Report and Fight TV.
There you go. You heard it there, guys. Bleacher Report and Fight TV will have AEW Double or Nothing, but the buy-in show, which was going to feature Hookhausen versus
Tony Nese and Mark Sterling.
There we go. And how do you feel about? I know you're big on.
I'm big on Danhausen. I love Danhausen. I'm sorry. I know some people think he's corny, he's funny, but I love it. And him and Hook together, come on, that's like a perfect odd couple. So I'm not going to say too much about this, but I'm going with Hookhausen.
I like it.
There's no reason for Tony Nese and Sterling to win, so not a chance they win.
No, and Tony the Tush Nese. Yeah, Tony the Tush Nese. Sorry, pal, you're not taking this. And if you're sitting there thinking, what did he just call him? I did call him Tony the Tush Nese. And that is because my wife has a mini crush on him because he's jacked with like 37 fucking abs. And, when he was in 205, he had on the whatever. You could picture it. I don't need to paint the picture. She calls him Tony the Tush Nese. And for that reason alone, I'm picking Hookhausen. Do your job, guys.
Well, you got the seat. You got to tell it. You got to tell her to watch some YouTube. No, because
I don't want her. No, I don't want her watching Tony the Tush Nese.
Well, she can see Hookhausen though. Maybe she'll fall in love with Danhausen.
All right. That's better. That's better than the Tush. So that's on the buy-in. That's the kickoff, and I think the only match left.
Well, we have the House of Black and Death Triangle, then you have Punk and Page, which I assume that's going to be the main event. It has to be the main event.
Punk and Page?
Yeah.
Listen, I hope I don't make anyone mad, but there's not a chance that Crybaby CM Punk is not going to be in the main event for one of their biggest shows. You know, you had Eric Bischoff say Punk has been a financial flop for AEW. Maybe that's right. Maybe he's wrong. But I think that with just the type of person that Punk is, him in a title match on one of their biggest shows not being in the main event is a mistake.
No, it'll be the main. It's the title. It'll be the main event. I mean, the only thing that even would come close to main eventing would probably be, I mean, over that would probably be MJF and Wardlow just because of the story. But I don't think it's for the title. It's Punk and it's Page.
Yeah.
So
No way.
I think that'll main event. You want to do quick predictions on Death Triangle and House of Black?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with House of Edge. I mean, I'm sorry, House of Black. I'm gonna go with that. That's gonna make people mad
That's
because
good.
I see the comparison. So I'm gonna go with House of Black because I feel like it's just
I'm gonna.
you know.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go the opposite. I'm gonna have to go with Death Triangle.
Oh,
Yeah, I am. I'm sorry, but I'm not a fan of House of Black. I don't. I like Malachi Black. I think he's better off as a single. I don't.
agreed.
This thing with Buddy Murphy, or not Buddy Murphy, Buddy Matthews and Brody King, and the lights on, lights off, and it's just like, I don't know. It gets annoying. I don't get it. I mean, you talked about the comparisons with Edge's group. I think Edge's group right now has more potential than this does. That's a hot take, I know, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Death Triangle.
Maybe this match might be the opener then.
Maybe, could be. It wouldn't be a bad opener.
I feel like this match and this group would benefit from the trio tag titles if they ever decide. I know there's been rumors. I know they're probably, Tony Khan is probably waiting for Omega to come back. So it could be
Maybe.
Omega and the Bucks
Yeah.
versus Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly in the main event or the finals for that tournament. So I have a feeling that that's what they're leading to. But I mean, this is just honestly maybe this match should have been on the
Maybe.
on the kickoff on the buy-in. I feel like more people might be into Hookhausen.
Yeah, it might be true. Yeah, honestly, that makes sense. But I guess we could. Well, you want to move on to Punk and Page?
I do, but I'm looking through here. Where's the Acclaimed? Where's Platinum Max? What is this?
Anthony Bowens is hurt.
I saw, but Max Cash is with the Ass Boys. Like, what's going on? Like,
yeah, they should have put them in something. Maybe they'll appear in the. Maybe we'll see them in the buy-in. Maybe they'll make an appearance, but I don't know. I love them. I hope Bowens heals quickly because the Acclaimed
love them.
Definitely an entertaining team over there in AEW. Where you got
they may be my favorite in AEW.
I have to go with FTR on that one. FTR over anybody over there.
Like, all right, FTR better in the ring, but like I like the raps. I like
personality.
I like their whole It's I'm a huge fan, and I put the belts on them. Give them something. Put them on fucking Dynamite. Like, what are they doing?
Those claims.
Yeah, like I see him all on Twitter. I have to go on Twitter to find, his raps. Put him on Dynamite. Let him cut someone down.
They just put them on YouTube or on Dark, and as much as a wrestling fan that I am, I watch too much wrestling already. I'm not watching YouTube. I'm not watching Dark.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have way too much to watch and not enough time.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I love the Acclaimed. Love them.
Me too. Speaking not enough time, let's get into the main event.
Yes, have Hangman Adam Page for CM Punk AEW Championship, AEW World Championship. If they don't put the belt on Punk, I don't understand. I don't know, where do you go with Paige after this? Where? Like, what's next for him?
Does
His
Punk
title
need it?
reign has been so just underwhelming.
Does Punk need it?
No, but
Like we
no,
were
but
saying
it'd be
with
good if he had it. Because people hear, oh, CM Punk's the AEW World Champion. All right, more people will tune in. I think they will.
or it could be like Adam Page beats CM Punk. Who the fuck is Adam Page? And then they tune into AEW. Not that I'm not shitting on Adam Page, because I just heard what I said, and then I just pictured the text that my buddy's going to send me, and goes,
Well, it's
what did you just say?
part of it is true, because you have some casual fans that don't watch AEW,
Yeah.
and maybe they don't know who Adam Page is. Everybody knows who CM Punk is, but maybe there's some people that don't know who Adam Page is. I think most wrestling fans do, but
Yeah. I mean, I know who Adam Page is, but I was going more with like what you were saying, like try to get new eyes on there. And I feel like it's like a Britt Baker situation. Like Britt Baker doesn't need to win the Owen Hart Cup.
right.
It will be better for Ruby if she wins it. Like you're saying, Adam Page's title reign has been,
Yeah,
and you're watching, and you're covering AEW.
Yeah.
So imagine, for people who like myself who don't as of yet, I promise. I'm going to watch next Wednesday. I'm going to make some time. This Is Us is over, so I'm going to be
there we go.
Yeah, I'm going to have more time.
I have to say, in some defense to Adam Page, he did have a good promo and a good segment with Punk on Dynamite.
Yeah.
This past Wednesday, I thought it was really good. I thought it was probably the best promo he's done in a while. Best promo as champion. So it got me a little more intrigued. I must admit, it got me more intrigued for the match this past Wednesday after their segment. But if you don't drop the title to Punk, okay, then who are you dropping the title to? Are you going to drop it to Danielson? Are you going to drop it to Omega when he comes back? I think Punk has to get it here, because then you can have Punk go on a run with the title and then drop it to a young guy, and it'll mean more. And then it'll elevate that young guy he drops it to.
Would it though, or would people be like, oh, I mean, yeah, he won the title, but he beat like a 45-year-old CM Punk? Like, because I feel like people say that for wrestling, like, oh wow, like Bray Wyatt lost to Goldberg, The Fiend lost to Old Man Goldberg, like it's.
I think people look at Punk and they don't bring up age. Like
when they gone for so long.
Yeah,
and they love him.
Yeah, when you see Goldberg, that's the first thing people bring up. Oh, he's 55 years old. What the heck is he doing in the ring? And he only has 3 moves and stuff like that. When they see Punk, they love him. They don't care what his age is. So I don't know if it'll matter. I don't know if his age will matter. I think you put the belt on him, give him a good run, and then, hey, maybe drop it to somebody like Wardlow. There we go. I gave Tony kind of an idea.
Yeah, right. Hey, hey, Tony, this is a different wrestling Twitter account calling you out in a positive way. If you happen to listen to this for 60 minutes, then you will hear Sal's great idea, which you could also catch him at Wrestling Inc. on Twitter. That's Wrestling INC. Catch him there. He'll be covering Double or Nothing on Sunday. And according to Sal, he'll be watching CM Punk dethrone Adam Page, and CM Punk will be the hashtag and new AEW World Champion. You know what? You convinced me. I'm going to put my personal bias of when CM Punk disrespected me back in 2013 aside. You know, it's been almost 10 years. I've let it go.
Yeah, time heals everything.
Time heals all wounds, but it will not heal that $400 pop that I did not purchase from Hot Topic at the time. It wasn't $400 at the time. It's now worth $400, maybe more, but I let that go, CM Punk. I'm going to let that go if you win the AEW championship, because I'll be honest, I've always liked Punk. Love it. When he was in WWE, the summer of Punk, he was white fucking hot. I loved it. He never should have lost. I'm a huge Rock fan. Love the Rock is my number one. Punk should have been part of that Mania 29 main event. Like he said, whether it was an elimination triple threat, he gets eliminated right away. He should have been a part of that. And I feel like Punk's never really had his farewell moment. Not saying that this is going to be his farewell moment, but
no, he'll be around.
You know what? I'm flip-flopping a little bit. I'm changing my tune. I'm going to go with CM Punk, and hopefully, because when he came back, that's what I was saying. Stay off the weed and start using CBD, guys. And if you need some good CBD, that's so funny. I happen to know some. Canadips CBD, the OG CBD dip pouch. Go to CanadipsCBD.com. That's CanadipsCBD.com and use code BELLYUP20 and you can save 20% on your next order. Not even your first order, your next order. And then your next, and then your next. Because if you enjoy this just as much as the guys over here do, you're going to be buying a lot. So when CM Punk first came back to AEW, I DVR'd it. This is the first AEW that I've watched in a while. And I got emotional. You know, they're in Chicago. Everyone's chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. Then you heard the, you know, and then his music played. He was there. And I get caught in the moment a lot, you know, and I'm going to lose a man card here. I teared up a little bit only because it was such a cool moment as a fan to see, because you never thought this motherfucker was coming back. You thought he was gone because you never even thought there's going to be another wrestling company. You knew he was not coming back to WWE, whether or not it was, you know, that Fox backstage, whatever it was.
I thought that would catapult him back. And I think if AEW wasn't around, I truly think he would have. I think he would have came back to WWE. I think that Fox thing, I really think it would have catapulted him back in. Because why take that Fox job and talk about WWE? Why?
Because, I mean, he gets an open mic. It's not a WWE contract. He gets to say whatever he wants to say. And no one holding him back. And
I could have seen
you know what? But you know what? If that's the case, if you could have seen it, then that means he let go in a way. If he was able to take that Fox job and go wrestle for Vince again, then that's almost like, okay, I'm at peace with it. But I mean, you know, his return to AEW, anytime the mic was in his hand, he took an opportunity to take a shot at WWE. You know, like, this is the first time that professional wrestling, like, he didn't name them, you know, outright, but you knew it was there. In my mind, he was never coming back. No matter what happened. I mean, they were chanting his name for years. The Rock called him in the middle of the ring, filming.
That was great.
And Punk didn't answer. He was like walking the dog or whatever. But listen, if The Rock is going to call you in the middle of the ring, hold the phone up, and you still have thousands of people chanting your name and you're not coming back, I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
Yeah.
AEW gave him that opportunity to come back. And I feel like Now is the perfect time to give him the belt. Talking about it with you right now definitely changed my tune. I think CM Punk wins and becomes the new AEW champion.
I've convinced you.
You have. You've convinced me. And looking at our predictions, the only different one we have is House of Black and Death Triangle.
Really?
So
There we go.
that's the match to watch, everybody. Forget every other
Yeah, you
match.
got to watch that match now.
We're hitting our time. Not that we have a time, but I want this to be uploaded to YouTube before Sunday. So, this can be out there and we don't look like fools posting an AEW prediction video on a Monday.
Right.
But we're at that point where it's the bottom line. And for me, the bottom line is if you're looking for a really good CBD, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do it again. You guys already know about Canna Dips, and now it's the best pouch out there for CBD. And I'm also not going to tell you to go to cannadipscbd.com because you know that already. And I'm definitely not going to say to use code BELLYUP20 because I know you guys know that already. But my bottom line is that this has been a fun hour plus talking to Sal.
Yeah.
About AEW. And even though, my boy Tom and my other boy, the Parlay King, whose name is also Tom, they tell me about AEW and stuff. And this is something that I've neglected getting into, but talking about it makes it more entertaining and more fun. So my bottom line is that after this Sunday, I'm going to probably be jumping on the AEW train and watching them weekly.
There we go. Getting to
I'm
some
ready.
new AEW talk.
I'm excited. I'm excited for my wife to get upset with all the new AEW figures I'm going to buy from watching it.
There's a lot of them out there, and they're coming up with a new video game, too.
I know. The new video game looks good. I like the graphics.
Yep.
What's your
working on it?
Oh, they did the old WWE games.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. What's your bottom line, Sal?
It would have to be that Wardlow will be a much bigger star after this weekend. That is my bottom line. Wardlow after this weekend is going to look like $1 million.
I like it.
Period.
And I agree.
Yep. I see a Goldberg rise for him in the late 90s. That's what I see right now with Wardlow.
And that would be great because I feel like that was a run that was always tried to be duplicated and it couldn't. I feel like this was more organic. It's almost the same thing, where you have a new up and comer just plowing through people, has the build, has the look.
Mm-hmm.
At least when the bell rings, it's a different story between the both of them.
Right.
At least one of them could go, but I like that bottom line. My bottom line, I am going to be more engaged in AEW, and Sal's bottom line is watch out for Wardlow because he's going to be a mega star.
Yeah, and by the way, watch out for Vince McMahon too, because he's gonna come a calling because that contract's coming up, and he'll grab him.
And everybody has a price, and everyone's gonna pay. I think that about wraps it up. Let me just go back to the banners for when this hopefully hits YouTube a little earlier. Let me just remove that. That's Sal. Wait, that's Sal. Still getting used to the computer. That's Sal. You can catch him at Sal __ Casella. I'm Matt. You can catch me at Rasslin Addicts. And this Sunday, please make sure that you catch Sal over at Wrestling Inc. That is, one more time, WRESTLINGINC. That's on the Twitter. He's going to be doing live coverage for AEW's Double or Nothing. And I'll do some live tweeting. But what I'm mainly going to be doing is watching AEW, enjoying the show. And I'm also going to be enjoying my very own flavor of Canada dips. So
There
make
we
sure
go.
you do it too. Go to the website, Belly Up 20, catch the Scoreboard Addicts, catch the Rasslin Addicts, catch us down the line. We'll see you soon. Thank you and have a good night.
See you later, guys. Good night.
Peace.